Hi, I'm Shilpa.
Hello, I'm Rebecca.
And today we're talking about puberty myths for girls. What we want to know about is what your memories are of puberty.
For me, I started growing in all departments around the age of 12. Periods and stuff like that, I started around 11, 12. And spots, I guess, they were really bad from about 17 onwards.
There is that expectation, if everyone else is starting, or even if people in my family have at a certain time, that maybe then I should be too.
There was a phase between the end of primary school and the beginning of secondary school where everyone was getting excited about getting their first bra. Oh, what size are you? Or hey, I went up a size this week. So it was quite important. And then there was this phase of everyone being really embarrassed. So when you were on your period, it was this really secretive thing.
We want to talk a little bit about the myths and things that people think are true but really aren't the case. Suddenly your boobs will just develop overnight.
I know there's some people at my school completely flat and then all of a sudden, yeah, when they were like 16, 17, they appeared. Some people literally grow within like a year or so. For me, I don't really remember them growing. For a while I thought, oh gosh, is it going to grow? Isn't it going to grow? But that's normal.
A sort of a feeling of inadequacy if they're not a certain size or even a certain shape.
There's so many different shapes.
There's so many different shapes.
And you can have breasts that are different sizes as well. They never stop changing. In some way I would have liked a bigger chest. Now I'm a bit more grown up and I'm happy with what I've got.
So there is a myth that periods come around once every 28 days and that they last for a specific amount of time. Is that always the case?
No. They can be extremely irregular. So some people go 4 to 6 weeks without a period and then get a period for, I don't know, 4 or 5 days. The amount of blood that we lose on our time of the month can also vary as well.
It can be really concerning, can't it? Because you're being told that there's a cycle and this is how it should happen.
If you are someone that is going through extensive, heavy periods, it is normal, but if you want to go and get it checked out, go for it.
There's a myth that when you're on your period, there are certain things that you can't do. Certain exercises, going swimming.
Swimming, definitely. I think if you're in a lot of physical pain, then yeah, of course, that will prevent you from doing things. But general things like swimming, yeah, you can do it. I mean, you can wear things like tampons or use menstrual cups and you can still go. And actually, some people find doing exercise really helps.
When you eat certain things on your period, it can sometimes make you feel better or worse, like things like chocolate and caffeine.
Yeah, chocolate mentally makes you feel better sometimes.
I think so.
You can eat whatever you want on your period, doesn't matter.
So there is another myth that you can't have sex on your period. Certainly you can, but there are some other things to consider, aren't there?
Well, you can also get pregnant on your period. Loads of people don't know that. So even though you're on your period, it is still important to use protection and have safe sex.
What about the myth that when you do start your period, that's it, you're ready to become sexually active?
Because you've started your period, that's signs that you're growing and you're changing, but that doesn't mean you have to be sexually active.
Your body can feel different. You will have a surge of hormones and you might start to have different sort of sexual feelings, but there's absolutely no
pressure.
There is also a myth that girls don't masturbate.
Personally, I think it's a really natural thing to do, especially when you're a teenager and your body's changing. It's good to learn about your body before you start exploring it with somebody else.
Another myth that girls don't have body hair. It can come out in all different places. There is a real pressure on girls to have to be completely hairless.
You don't have to shave your hair, any of your hair, if you don't want to.
And actually a lot of excessive hair removal can also be quite bad for your skin.
It does take practice to learn how to shave yourself properly, but you can also cut yourself as well, accidentally.
There is also a big impact and change on your emotional development as well.
Not everybody, but lots of people can feel quite sad or very, very moody.
There is the stereotype as well, so if a girl is moody or a bit irritable or angry, it must be her time of the month.
Not necessarily,
not always the case.
But you can be. It's a stereotype, not a concrete thing. One other thing that's important is whilst you're going through puberty, sometimes it can feel as though you're losing a sense of who you are. You can change drastically throughout your teenage years, but if you are feeling really nervous and lost, I guess, during puberty, you're not alone. You
can always go to Childline, you can talk to a Childline counsellor, or you can talk to other young people on the Childline message boards too. And now we want to hear from you. We want to know what weird puberty myths have you heard. Thank you so much for coming and talking about boobs and everything.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me.
We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.